All right. Hello, listener. Welcome back. This is our series where we listen to an album and then review it track by track. And we're still on the Beatles. And this week we're doing Magical Mystery Tour. The American version.
Yeah.
Which the Beatles themselves were like, yeah, that's part of the album. That's one of our albums, blah, blah, blah. I know some nerds like to get all like, oh, well, actually, it's not a real album. It's a compilation. But
it's just as much of an album as Hard Day's Night or Hell.
Yeah.
It's more like a soundtrack, but, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we are doing the American version of the album, not the British double EP version. So, yeah, let's just let us not tarry. Let us jump right in to track one, the title track, Magical Mystery Tour. So Magical Mystery Tour, the song. I'll be honest, I usually skip that one.
I
can see why.
I mean, it's not like a real song, so I get it. But, like, I really love it.
It's a theme song. So
yeah.
I mean, it's funny because it's like, you know, I was just thinking, like, you know, obviously this is the follow-up to Sgt. Pepper's, which went off completely, right?
Yeah.
And, yeah, they flopped a little. As much as I like this,
yeah,
if you were, like, expecting something
Sgt.
as good,
Pepper 2.
you would be like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What is this? But,
that's tough to follow up, though.
yeah. They definitely didn't hit the nail on the head. But they hit the nail, just not on the head.
I mean, the song is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just kind of
I get it.
pointless.
Yeah, I guess I would. I don't go to this song.
Yeah.
But I do like this song quite a bit. Like, if I put the CD on the car or something, this is fucking fine and great.
Yeah.
I mean, are we supposed to
I
watch
don't-
our language?
We said we were going to do that, but we quit.
No one pays
We
attention.
I
just went.
care. Like, there's no adult around, or like child or like Christian around, so I just cannot censor myself.
Yeah.
It's not
If you-
happening.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a cute song. It's fun. It's a great theme song to the movie.
I did not understand what roll up was supposed to mean as a kid, and it really boggled my mind. Like, what is that? Roll up? Like a fruit roll up? I'm just kidding, but now it's like, oh, it's an innuendo, I guess, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I do like the idea of Magical Mystery Tour. It's a cute concept. A good concept.
Yeah.
Could have been done better, but it's a nice concept.
I just think it's funny when you read, like, in the anthology where it's like, well, we'll just put all of us on a bus and we'll film what happened. And it's like, but nothing really happened.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Turns out you're normal and you don't just sit there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just let's keep it moving. Track number 2, "The Fool on the Hill." "The Fool on the Hill."
It's my favorite Beatles song.
Overall.
Yeah, of all of them. Ever.
It's a good song.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fine song. It's definitely not my favorite.
I just
Just goes to show, you know.
yeah.
Everybody has, you know.
But, I mean, definitely one of the songs that carries this album. Yeah, just because it's not a single or whatever. So.
It's just I don't know. I just like the lyrics a lot and the way it sounds, and I like it.
I don't know. I've honestly never really thought about that song, like, in depth.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
So what do you think of it? If you have to think about it now.
It's a good song.
Oh, wow. It doesn't make you think.
Not really. I don't know.
No, forget. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could go on about it, but I don't know, it's just, I always related to the lyrics growing up or whatever, and
You felt like that fool on that hill.
yeah.
It's
I
like
did.
his Nowhere Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not just about like how he Nowhere Man is like kind of like, I don't know, kind of like encouraging him to like
Break out of his nowhere
and
madness.
Full Mill, just leave him alone or whatever.
Just leave him up on that hill.
Yeah.
He ain't hurt nobody no how.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, that's interesting. Keep the line moving. Up next is, I think, is this the first instrumental track on
Yes.
any Beatles album?
I think so.
It's Flying. Let's listen. Flying.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
This is my favorite Beatles album, so
Oh, is it?
yeah. All of them are my favorite Beatles movie, favorite Beatles album, and my favorite Beatles song.
Yeah.
Because looking at it, this might be my least favorite.
Whoa.
I get that.
Mm.
It's a lot of people's, and I don't mind.
Yeah. I do. I really like this album. It was my favorite for a long time, but
And Flying is great.
You know.
Like when you're in the right mood.
Yeah.
And it
No,
just
I
gets
like
you-
that. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did a good job.
it's funny, like, yeah, sometimes you're like, there's no way this is someone's favorite Beatles song. About any song, especially like something like Flying. And I remember in this little old people Facebook group for the Beatles I'm in, they were like, what's your favorite song or whatever? And this guy was like, my dad's favorite song was Flying, to the point he had it played at his funeral. Like his favorite song of all time is this, and you're like, wow, there is someone for every song.
Yeah.
I could see that's a good, like,
I would have
A
wanted
good
to meet
send-off
that
song.
man.
Yeah.
if you're like, I don't like the Beatles. Well, that's just an instrumental. You
Yeah.
know? So it's like, well, fine, I like that.
But he was a huge
But no, I'm not-
Beatles
yeah.
fan. Yeah, it's like there's
Yeah, this
literally
song's, like, it's kind of deceptively simple or subtle.
Yeah.
But like sometimes the song, it's like hit me like, oh, it's so pretty, so good. But yeah, we were talking about
in the movie.
the scene in the movie during the song.
Oh, yeah. Well, because, the Beatles were outraged because they first showed it in black and white.
Yeah.
And, of course, just a 2-minute shot of the sky going through different hues of gray
Right.
It's just ice.
would be boring as
It's
shit.
Like, it's not ice. It's like mountains and stuff.
I thought it was just like clouds.
It's like a landscape.
Literally, they took the helicopter up to
They have flying.
Iceland or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
They're flying.
it starts with mountains and it goes into ice,
Ice,
or whatever.
yeah.
But then it all changes colors or whatever.
Yeah, it changes from like psychedelic colors.
Yeah.
But I could, the average person, even in like
Yeah.
1967, just
Yeah.
sitting there for 2 minutes of just the sky changing color, like, what is this?
Right, like, okay. But I will say, I watched this movie on LSD, and
Oh,
it was
it's a great movie.
amazing. Amazing. And this scene was particularly great, because you're like, oh my god,
Wow.
you can see all the different colors and the colors and the colors. So,
Yeah.
like, it's another thing they did for other people on other things, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which they shouldn't have put on TV,
Yeah.
but
But the movie really is not good enough to be a theatrical release, so they were pretty
It's like-
screwed.
yeah, they
No, this was like the first, I guess, misstep in their career.
Yeah, well, Brian had just died.
Yeah.
They were screwed, and they were running around like, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's very understandable, but that kind of makes this album interesting
To
to
me,
me. Because it's like, what are they like when they have no idea what they're doing,
Right.
with no guidance hardly?
And it still turns out pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
even if this is my least favorite album,
Good album.
it's still pretty good.
Right. The
Yeah.
songs. If it was someone else's album, if this was the Moody Blues album, I don't know about all that, but if this was the Turtles album, they'd be
The
legends.
good thing is about this album is like, it's a people pleaser. You can play this song with this album with any old person and they're happy. They're like, yeah, let's go.
I mean, I've showed this album to plenty of non-Beatles fans, and they like it.
This album, the cover is like, my mom thinks it might be her first memory.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's cute. How can you not?
I mean, I would
forget
remember that if I was a baby and you showed me that, I'd be like, excuse me, what did you just make me look at?
It's so colorful.
Yeah.
It is. All right. We're going to keep it moving now. We've got is this the only George song?
Mm-hmm.
George, just getting the one again. Although this album's pretty short. It's only 11 songs. And,
Yeah.
All right. But it is the George track, Blue Jay Way. Love that song.
Me too.
Same.
Yeah.
That was when I got this album for Christmas when I was a kid. This was the one that I would just over and over again. This song.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like it much until I was older. I would skip it as a kid, actually.
It's
But
a little too dark for little me.
Yeah, it's got a dark vibe to
yeah,
it.
he's moody in this song.
Yeah.
He's moody in all
Which
of his
is
songs.
weird because, like,
George
the
George
song's not
was
about anything.
It's about waiting.
It's about waiting for your friend.
Yeah, I mean it's like his friends got lost on the way to his house.
That's all the song's
I'm
about. He
bored.
made it so moody.
Yeah.
He made it sound really sinister.
He was the moody Beatle.
Yeah.
It's like, you're like, gosh, it must be about like all his friends getting lost to drugs. Like, no.
No.
They just made the wrong turn.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
He's just waiting for them to show up and had nothing else to do.
Yep.
And what do you do if you're a Beatle? You write a song.
That's what I saying this the other day. It's just like they went about their lives and just wrote songs about their lives, which was, new at the time as far as like being about your average life and turning it into art or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I like that about them. I'm glad they did that.
Me too. Because not everyone does that. Or they try to.
Right. Instead of just about your deepest romantic feelings
Or
whatever.
fantasies or whatever. Things that aren't real,
This is just a song about waiting.
Yeah.
But it's weird because this song is pretty under the radar as far as Beatles songs go.
It has fewer views than Flying did.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And but still, like I saw a thing yesterday on the internet about how they can't have a road sign on Blue Jay Way. They have it painted on the curb.
Yeah.
Blue Jay Way because
People will steal
they
it.
can't keep one. Right. It's like God, their impact.
Their impact. I
They
mean, what is
were
it?
criminals.
When they were filming this movie, they went to Plymouth in England,
Yeah.
and they did that little shoot where they're sitting in the grass,
Mm-hmm.
and there's literally little marks where their butts and hands were, as a monument that the Beatles sat here once upon a time.
It's like how they used to
Okay,
sell
kiss
their
that.
bed sheets.
What?
You don't remember that?
No.
It's on the anthology. They're talking. It's like, so the Beatles stayed in your hotel. Yes, and these are the sheets. We've cut them
Yeah.
into strips, and we're gonna sell them.
Right.
That's wild. That's wild.
I mean, that's also an anthology. It's like people literally. It's like they would bring their sick children. It's like
Yeah.
it's like people wanted us to just like lay hands on their
Yeah.
sick relatives.
They're just
I mean,
singers.
it's like we were talking like they had a big debate on. Most of it was probably not just in jest or whatever, but is Outkast better than the Beatles? And it's like, you can't really have that conversation because the fact that you even need to say they're better means the Beatles are better. Obviously, it's like they were a whole economy. It's like that was a huge, lots
Right.
and lots and lots of
Right.
money
It's
was
like
made.
being a pop musician or whatever was just not a viable lifestyle for.
It was a mania.
Right. Like they made it something that anyone could really feasibly try to do. You didn't have to be particularly hot or
Talent.
you didn't have to be
We
Frank
had to-
Sinatra. You didn't have to look like Elvis. You didn't have to sing like
Right.
The Beatles were
Doris Day.
stupid hot though.
they're
They
hot, but
weren't
they're also like
stupid
normal
hot.
looking.
Yeah.
They're cute, but they're normal looking.
Ringo sort of brings
Like,
the
if they
average.
weren't
They don't have like the
talented.
chisel jaw and like the whatever the stunning blue eyes or whatever you had to have back then or whatever.
Yeah. If they weren't talented, it wouldn't matter.
But it made being normal cool and anyone, and made being a pop star a viable career option if you could pull it off.
I mean, the reason we still have the things we care about are because the Beatles existed. You know, as far as like the music industry goes.
Right.
You know, they created like, what does that look like? A pop package. How do you make a music video? How do you go through eras of your career and reinvent yourself?
Right. Or like, you can make weird ass music that a lot of people don't understand, but
keep your career.
Keep your career, right. But yeah.
So, yeah, there you go.
Alright. And we are just going to keep chugging right along. Up next is Your Mother Should Know. I really like that one. It's just a jaunty little tune.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's fun.
It's also, again, evidence that Paul is dead.
Why?
Because in that sequence in the movie, they all have
Oh,
red
yeah.
roses, but Paul's is black
Oh,
because
I remember.
he's dead.
And I remember seeing something on a blog about it, and like, you know, when they're like coming off the last step, Paul is like hopping a bit higher than the rest of them. You're like, see, he's not supposed to be taller than them, or whatever.
Like, he's not the tallest Beatle.
And they'll be like, his height changed, and it's like,
He's
jumping
stepping
off the stairs.
And they're so dumb. Not even mention, he was the tallest.
Right.
So what? He was always taller than
I
all
love
of
that
them.
sequence though, and it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Well, again, that's fun.
Right.
The whole thing is just fun.
The best part about it is that George is like, that was my favorite part of the movie. And you're watching it and he does not look like he's having fun. He's just like blank faced as usual. That's his fun face, I think.
Yeah, good song. It's fun. Old people love this song.
Well, duh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it sounds like old people music.
Yeah.
It sounds like a young people's take on old people
This
music.
is what John was talking about when he called it
Granny
music, yeah.
This
Yeah.
is totally a granny song.
It's one of the, like, the first time I, like, saw John refer to Paul's songs as granny music, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
I know exactly what he's talking about.
Right. But
Paul is
I don't hate it as much as John did, but
right.
Look,
I understand
his
it.
granny music is so cute, okay? Because he's such a granny. Like, he's not a grandpa. He is literally a grandma. Like, if you ever see, like, pictures of him with, like, in his older age as a grandfather, that's a grandma. That's a grandma. Like, he had to take on the role of grandma because his wife died. Someone's got to be grandma.
Yes.
Paul was a grandma trapped in a pop singer's body.
Yes.
He's just waiting for his time to shine. And now it's finally come to him. He can be grand dude.
All right, gonna keep it moving, and so this is the end of
Side one.
yeah. Well, it's the end of side one, and also the end of like the soundtrack to the
No,
movie.
because
Yes.
I Am the Walrus is in the movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
My bad. I get
Oh,
it.
this
I
new
get it.
one.
This is the end of the. Basically, this is all that was released in the UK.
Okay.
Were these 6 songs on a double EP,
Mm-hmm.
and then side B is just their previously released singles to stretch it out to a full-length album for the
Yeah.
American market.
Plus
To
one.
please me as a child.
All right, so we are going to finish up the soundtrack portion of Magical Mystery Tour with a Stone Cold classic, I Am the Walrus. Yeah, there's always one on every album where it's like, what can you really say about it that
Yeah.
hasn't been said?
Right.
Yeah. I will say that as popular and as much as I've read about the song and as popular as it is, I feel like I don't know anything about the writing process of it or the recording process. It's like they don't talk about it.
Well,
Like, what happened?
I do know that, because John Lennon read that, like, the teachers at his old school
Yeah.
were, like, analyzing his lyrics and being like, oh, John went here, even though they didn't like him when he was
Right.
a student.
Right.
He's like, all right, well, figure this shit out.
You're right. And I know that, but like, you know, what was it like? Like, did it start out with just the piano part? What did they add on? Whose idea was what?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they don't like dig into it the way they do with other songs. You know, like, oh, and then I
think
did this.
by
and
him
then
having done that, it almost puts like this mental of like, I shouldn't even like analyze this song. I shouldn't even think too hard about it. Yeah. You know, when you listen to it.
I read an interesting thing where it was they had never been able to do a true remaster of the song because they just recorded what was on the radio at the time, and it was King Lear.
Yeah.
So they went to the BBC archives and found that and played the parts and were able to make a true like stereo remaster of it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. And in that book, In Their Own Lives or whatever.
In Their Lives.
Yeah. And the one where the writers write about the songs. The guy writing about this is really interesting because it's he's some, I don't want to, of course I have bad memory, but he's someone who is like a professor, an English professor at some really big college.
Yeah.
And he like, you know, and because he's like, because he says I shouldn't analyze this song, I will, and he did, and it was really interesting. So you know, that was one of the best parts of that whole book was that guy writing about this song.
My favorite part of this song is that I don't think, I mean, what do I know, but especially nowadays compared to back then, that he pretty much like what's the word? Predicted corporation T-shirts.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, what?
How did he know?
That's a big thing now. Everyone has one now. I'm sure back then not everyone had one.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I always like that little line at the beginning.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, me and my brother wanted to check out a book of Edgar Allan Poe solely because they mentioned him in the lyrics to this song.
Yeah.
And we read it, and you know, only his famous stories are good.
Yeah.
You know, all his other shit sucks.
Yeah, there's a reason why he wasn't too popular in his life. Even then, I don't really like a lot of his
stories aren't that great.
No.
But that's off topic.
Yeah, I'm not big.
That's an off topic.
That's a different podcast. You have to wait when we start the Edgar Allan Poe cast.
Yeah.
I think that already exists.
I guarantee you that something with that exact title exists.
Right. Good for them. They can have it.
Just like 4 goth teenagers.
Right.
Just like, we love Edgar Allan Poe.
I went to a Edgar Allan Poe themed restaurant burger place in Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
It was good, but it was also like
on the
why?
beach? It seemed weird. It was right on the ocean.
Why in Charleston?
I don't know. It was called Poe's Tavern.
He was from Baltimore.
I know. And we just went there because it was a place there. We were on that island.
I remember in like 7th grade on like literature day.
Yes, I remember that.
Some kids, and they were like, "Nevermore."
Yes.
They did that.
I wanted to scream laughing, but I did nothing. When they were, yeah.
Oh, it was funny.
Yeah, it was funny. Like, why do I have to? Okay, go on. Let's go on.
All right. Yep, we're getting off topic. All right. Up next, and so that's the end of the Magical Mystery Tour soundtrack.
Yep.
Double EP release that the Beatles at first envisioned. And up next, we're getting into the more compilation side. But it kicks off with Hello, Goodbye. All right, Hello, Goodbye.
I like that song.
It's a good song.
I don't like it as much as Bob Dylan does, but that's
It, because, you know, we just, it's easiest to just watch the videos of the songs on YouTube for the listener.
Yeah.
It's the easiest setup to do it in. But this actually had the music video for Hello, Goodbye.
Yes.
And boy howdy did it look like they were not feeling it.
Yeah.
Especially John.
Yeah, John was not. They don't like that song.
Yeah.
He did not want to be doing that.
Like, I don't blame him. Like, after you've done, like, it's what, 6 months after Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane or so, 6 months or so, doing Hello Goodbye is going to feel like doo-doo. Yeah. Literal doo-doo.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this song sucks.
And it's like, and it does that close up on George's face, and he's just standing there, just like, yeah, I'm not gonna smile or anything.
No.
Rinko even shakes his head. He's like smiling.
Like, even Paul, who wrote and probably was super into that song, does not look like he's having a good time.
Well,
of the,
I'm sure they were pleasant.
The four of them
off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's
funny
funny
like so many people watch it.
Oh God, I know, so many views,
and it's so awkward, and like that's forever. But I don't think even like when I was younger, I didn't notice the tension in the video when I would see it.
No. Yeah, you only see it now because we're old, and we know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the same look that, I mean, they were just at work.
Right.
That's the same look I have on my face at work of just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's like
but
when,
I'll do it because I have to.
When someone tries to make a funny joke at you at work and you're like,
haha. Yeah.
But the song itself is, I mean, it's pretty, simplistic, but it sounds
good.
good.
I like the song, all right, but the outro of the song is really good.
That is good.
So you're like, there's always one thing in a Beatles song you're gonna be like, I don't like this at all,
I like that.
and then you're like, dang it, they got me.
Yeah, or like Bob Dylan says, I like this about the dualistic nature of life.
Yeah.
How everything's a paradox. But
I mean, that was the intent of the song when he wrote it.
It's very magical.
All right. So Hello Goodbye had 123 million views, but I'm betting, because this is also the music video, I'm betting that the next song, Strawberry Fields Forever, is going to have the most views of any song on the album.
Oh yeah.
So let
It's
us
also
look.
the best video.
Let us listen to Strawberry Fields Forever. All right. Well, I was wrong. Strawberry Fields only had 51 million views.
That's really...
That is very surprising.
I feel like this is one of their biggest songs.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And it's better than Hello Goodbye.
But Hello Goodbye is really popular.
I think,
It's
yeah.
enormous.
Hello Goodbye is more accessible. Yeah.
Yeah.
The normies.
Yeah. Normies, yeah.
Not the real heads like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have many thoughts on this song. But I don't know where
It's
to
like
begin.
a perfect song.
A little bit, It's weird, I didn't grow up, I didn't have the anthology CDs or whatever. Now that I'm being able to listen to them on streaming or whatever. And this one, the demos for this are like particularly great, and it makes you almost a little sad for me to listen to this one. Like, this version's kind of taking away the kind of innocent emotion, or like not even like wistful emotion of the demos that maybe his intention was with the song or whatever. It's kind of turned into like this psychedelic epic or whatever, which I do appreciate. I appreciate less now that I'm not as enamored with psychedelia as maybe I was when I was younger. I couldn't care as much now, but like when I was younger, I was like, oh, cool, that's so trippy or whatever, But I do love the lyrics of this song, and
I think, it's definitely some of their better lyrics from their whole career, probably. It's...
Yeah.
Because it's complicated enough where you're not going to get it on first listen.
Yeah.
But it's intriguing enough where you want to keep listening and figure it out. And when you get it, it's really simple. but it sounds so good, and it sounds really complicated.
Well, it is a bit of a complicated. It's like nostalgia is a little complicated.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, you know, everyone understands that. It's not a complicated emotion that everyone feels it.
Sure.
It's relatable as shit, you know,
Right.
but it seems detached because it's got this psychedelic veil over it.
Right.
It makes it seem like, oh, well, you have to be on drugs. Like, no, everyone knows what that is, you know.
Right.
You might not have been at strawberry fields, but you have your own strawberry fields. Everyone does.
Yeah.
So, and everyone reaches that age around like 24, 25 when you like click into, oh yeah, my childhood. And you remember it and you miss it because it's gone. Like, it's just completely gone at that point. There's no going back to it.
Damn. It's
Yeah.
heavy. But yeah, this song's pretty heavy for me. It's one of my favorites ever, but
You speak of the like demos.
yeah.
Because you know, I mean, well, maybe you, the listener, don't know, but they stitched this together from two separate tracks. That's why it kind of like always, you know, it kind of sounds droney because they had to slow the tape speed down to get it to match the key of the two that he liked. But the one without like the orchestration, just like the guitar, because I really loved like the guitar in like the first verse or so.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of wish they just kept that.
Yeah.
But the song is great as is.
Right. Like, I can understand why, because it's like they needed to make a big statement, I guess, you know, about what direction they were in and where they were as a band. Like, you know, they wanted, you know, they wouldn't have pushed boundaries if they had just released it as it was. So I get it, but also I can understand, like, I've heard that John was a little frustrated with what they did to the song.
I think it hurt his feelings. I think it's one of the biggest upsets of his time with the Beatles. I think, you know, from when he talks about it later on, he seems most hurt and most upset with Paul when he talks about, like, this song in particular.
Because it's so personal to him.
Yeah.
And he wrote it by himself, you know, when he was alone or whatever, and then, but I can understand both sides. Both are right, but
I mean the song is perfect because it's a perfect blending of Paul and John at their best. You know, I mean, and like you said, they had to make a statement. They're like, well, we're not touring anymore. We have to give them something, or else they'll leave us. And they did a good job. It didn't go to number one.
Oh yeah, I've told you a bit about that. Dick Clark, American Bandstand, where they have on YouTube, where they show the premiere of this video or whatever, and like they interview the kids afterwards, and they're just like, "What did I just see? They look old," but it's funny as heck.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the home stretch here. Up next, we have Penny Lane. Let's give it a listen.
Okay. That's a good song.
It's all right.
It's not my favorite at all.
No. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of feelings about this song or anything.
I agree with John. I read it might be an anthology, but you know, because this and Strawberry Fields they released as a double A side. Paul's like, I don't want to have the B side.
No.
And John's like, in what world is Penny Lane a better song than Strawberry Fields Forever? You know?
Grandma World.
Oh well, a lot of
this one
people.
has 101 million views.
That's a lot of views.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
Paul knew what people wanted. Still does.
He's a people pleaser. Yeah.
I mean,
and Paul, what the people want is a song from you called "Pussy Around the World."
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, I like the imagery and everything of it. It's fine. It's just, I don't know. I need more.
Yeah, it's not essential listening for me.
Yeah,
it was good.
It makes me nervous to have so many views though. It's like, what is this when people listen to and they're like, "What are the Beatles like?" You're like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Well, don't listen to the other one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
then they go on Reddit and they're like, actually the Beatles suck. So, you know, I heard Penny Lane. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, we'll listen to another song, you dipshit.
Oh, yeah. I never really liked this song that much. Even as a kid, I was like, eh.
Yeah.
It's just boring. I like it, but it's boring to me, especially as I get older.
That and Paperback Writer.
Oh boy.
I can do without these songs.
I like Paperback Writer.
I don't like it.
Alright, well, we got to save that for Past Masters.
Yeah.
Alright. So here we go. We're on to the penultimate track. Baby, You're a Rich Man. Alright. That might be my favorite on the album.
It's one of the
Mine
best
too.
songs.
Yeah. I really like the, what did you say it was called?
Clavia line.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
that winds throughout the whole song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really love sounds like that.
Yeah.
So, I really like it in this song.
I like it a lot, this song.
This is the
The
best
bass
song on
line
the. Oh,
It's great.
Paul went off on this whole song.
And the lyrics and the vocals are really good. Really good. So,
This is a good example of when Paul can enhance John without overpowering him, like in Strawberry Fields where he gets overshadowed by Paul, but in this he completely, accents him and you still get the gist of what John wanted to do.
Yeah.
He's like, but let me put a clavia line on the oboe setting on it.
yeah. Yeah.
But no, just all the elements of it, they just come together in a great
This song can
way.
be very euphoric if you have it the right volume.
That's true. It's very true.
They use it as the end credits for the social network.
network.
And it
I was
looks, it works really well there.
Yeah, it's
I was like, man,
really
they-
impressive.
They shelled out some bucks for that one, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
I was like, the first time I saw it, I was
Worth
like, holy
every
crap, they're
dollar.
playing this one?
Because it just encapsulates what the movie's trying to say.
Yeah.
And it sounds really good.
All right.
It's a great
Well,
song. Great song.
wrapping up track 11, last track on this pretty short Beatles album. And it is, now that I think about it, this might have the most views.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know if because that's the thing
No,
is there's so
there's a
many
video for
different,
this.
so the actual video for it might have it. But I still think even this one is going to have a lot of views. Maybe the most famous Beatles song.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe.
You see it everywhere. At least
Yeah.
the title of the song.
And it is All You Need Is Love. All right. Well, we have to cut things short today. Something has come up. But
Bye.
cliffhanger, if you want to hear what we think about All You Need Is Love, you have to listen to the Yellow Submarine episode.
There you go.
Goodbye forever.